All right, guys. So we're here. Another week, another successful week. We're entering week 3, and we have a surprise guest here. I'm pretty sure nobody here expected for this young man to be in here, but we have David, the captain of the Rams, number 2 seed. And in my opinion, right now, how things are looking with injuries and all that, I got him as a favorite. Sorry, Ravens. Y'all were easier to beat than them. But yeah, David, welcome to the hot team, man. Are you ready?
Hey, what's good? Hello, hello.
All right, man. So I guess with you, we'll start off slow. Work your way into this. Because I have a good feeling about this. So how'd you hear about Done Deal, man? How'd you join?
I joined in the New Year's tournament. I think it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Uh, Somebody I guess got hurt, and Enzo hit me up like, "Oh, come, we need one. You want to play in this done deal?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure, I'm down." He had told me a little bit about it, so I was gonna try to get in the season, but I know you had to be referred, this and that. But luckily, I got into the tournament, and then from the tournament, I was able to sign up for the last season.
So it's kind of funny because this is where I don't want to say where the word sharking came from, because sharking came from a previous season with a different player, but there was major sharking in my opinion in how you became and you joined that team, because you ended up joining a godly team. What it was, you, Enzo, Jr., JP, and Charlie. Like,
Yeah,
you replaced Willie. You're a captain. No disrespect to Willie. Willie's a dog, but he's not a captain. You know what I'm saying? So like, how does that make you feel? So, because in the future, you kind of won with another captain, but we'll get to that later. But in this tournament, there was 2 captains on that team. You get what I'm saying? And you guys won easily. I don't even think you guys struggled that much. So how does that make you feel that your first time joining Done Deal in the tournament, you pretty much had 2 captains in it?
I'm indifferent because when I joined it, I first of all on that team I had like probably two catches the whole tournament, and some people would say that if I'm not throwing, I'm pretty bad. So whatever. I guess I was just somebody else on the team.
So pretty much, I mean, I have heard that, but let's say if you're not throwing the ball, right? Because right now in Done Deal, in my opinion, you're top 5 captain. We'll talk about that later. But if you're not throwing the ball fairly, you being honest with yourself, where would you rank yourself in Done Deal?
No less than a tier two.
No less than 2. So you're not confident enough in your
No,
receiving.
I mean I'm saying if, yeah, okay, yeah, I would be a captain. I mean, you know,
So we have what we
if
have.
some of
We have Drew that's towards the bottom. We have Ant that's towards the bottom. We have Kareem that's towards the bottom. We have Jordan, Mo.
yeah,
Which one of those guys would you 100% put yourself over them as a receiver?
as a receiver or as a captain that can't throw.
You're uh as a receiver. You
As a
cannot throw.
receiver,
You cannot throw the ball.
I cannot throw a ball. As a receiver,
Hmm.
I'll put
They can do
myself over.
everything.
Yeah, I'll put myself over Mo. I honestly have never seen Mo play offense, so 100%.
Yeah, because I'm hearing also from a lot of captains that Mo offensively. I mean, I've seen him. I'm pretty sure you've seen him play, right? Defensively, right?
Yeah,
No,
defensively, but I mean,
defensively, but on the offensive side, he doesn't. He's really never shown anything to be like, oh, he's a captain. So out of all the captains, you would say that Mo shouldn't be a captain this season.
no. Out of all the captains, to say some who should not be a captain, I would say Kareem.
Kareem, why?
I mean, you see how they're doing.
I mean, do you see how the Bucks are doing?
That's true. But he was. I mean, he missed a week. They've been here all week. But aside from that, I haven't seen anything that's like, wow, yeah, he's really good. I've seen Mo what Mo can do on defense. I would put Mo over Kareem.
You'll put
As a
Mo over.
receiver, I'm like, back to what I said. As a captain, as a receiver, over Mo. As a captain, Kareem should be out.
Okay. So something that impressed me with you was your rookie season, right? Rookie season, you were your team was the Broncos, correct?
The Broncos, yeah.
There's this thing about rookies and them not drafting well, right? There's like this huge thing with it. Like some of them do well, some of them don't. But you've been in Done Deal for 2 seasons, and your drafting has been satanic. You might be like one of the best drafters that we've seen in Done Deal history. And let's talk about that first team you had. You drafted Ham,
No,
right?
no, no.
No,
I had a later pick in the round. I drafted Enzo. I
you
traded for
drafted
him.
you drafted Enzo. You
Yeah.
drafted Anthony
Ant Nunez, and then I
and
drafted
Nunez,
Fernie.
Fernie, and Mendoza.
Yeah.
So then you ended up trading Fatzo
At the time,
at the time. I love my boy
yeah,
Enzo. Yeah, for Ham,
for him.
and then you ended up pulling off one of the trades that I honestly to this day do not comprehend how you made that trade happen. You got Chris D to team up with you, and obviously we know how it ended. Even though you guys almost lost, by the way, kind of disappointed. You guys had 2 captains or whatever. Talk to me about how that trade came about, because we heard Chris D's side of the story. We've heard the other side before. I want to hear your point of view, and I want you to be raw and real about how that trade happened.
I mean, everything he said was pretty much spot on, except for the fact that when he said he didn't know I was talking to Matt, I don't think I've ever talked to Matt really, like ever outside of on the field. It was Nico and Matt that were desperate for trades, like thirsty for him. And Nico had been trying to get Ant Nunez all season long. So literally like 10 minutes before the trade deadline, Nico hit me up like, what does it have to take, bro? I was like, well, I wouldn't trade my team unless I get significantly better. He's like, okay, what about Chris D? I was like, okay, but I'm not taking on a bunch of I'm not gonna take on 2 tier 5s or whatever. He's like, okay, watch, look, I'll make it happen. And then he brought in Matt. Matt was like, yeah, cool. The other thing was Nico didn't want JP. He didn't know who JP was, so he was also desperate to get rid of him. So I ended up trading away Ham and Ant for Chris D and JP. Like, it was literally, the trade was brought to me and said, here, all you gotta do is accept. So you guys can say whatever people could say whatever they want. 2 captains this, 2 captains that. Would anybody decline that trade with that with a brain?
If I was a captain and I was put in that situation, I'm accepting that trade 100%.
Exactly.
It's a no-brainer. But the thing about that trade was you traded, and it's like if you drafted your team. I don't know if that makes sense. Because if you go down roster by roster, aside from Chris D, you're the tier 1, right? Well, technically Chris D was ranked over you, Boder. You're the tier 1. He's your tier 2.
Yeah.
Then your tier 3 is JP, which in that season, JP would have been drafted towards the end of tier 3 100%. Then you have Fernie, which is a legit tier 4, one of the better ones. And then you have Mendoza, which is one of the legends of Done Deal. So like it made perfect sense, and I felt like that team was just incredible. And I mean, you guys ended up winning, but let's be honest, you guys could have easily lost that game. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was 3-4, that last game, and it could have gone either way. But I mean, at the end of the day, you guys pulled it off and you won. So, is there a certain type of energy that you have this season that do you want to prove people like, yo, I don't need another captain, I don't need this or that, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not going to trade. I had no intention of trading for a captain this season, unless somebody is dumb enough to put on a platter the same kind of trade as last season. But yeah, I just came into the season with the team, especially with the team I drafted. I felt like there was no need to tweak anything to make any moves really. So I feel like everybody has a role, everybody fits into place, and my team I love it.
Like, duh. But now that you said that, unless somebody puts it in a platter.
Yeah, somebody who's desperate, somebody who maybe wants to get rid of their captain, like Matt did in that scenario, and I don't have to have.
Let's talk about this season, David, because I got an interesting message this season on my phone.
Yeah.
And it came from you, right?
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people don't know about this. But pretty much there was some heat going on in the captain's chat that we were looking to move Julio and Eddie, right? And let's put that out here now. That's the only time that ever happened was it was a Kareem and Marsh for Eddie and Julio, right, at the time, but that never went down. And then Tony offered me a trade, and it involved pretty much getting like another tier 5 or something like that. And I told him, no, I'm not doing that. So that's the only time I ever engaged with that. And then a week later, a few days later, you came and you messaged me about if I wanted to move Eddie and Julio. And then ironically, minutes later, Anthony from the Titans hit me up too. So I'm like, what is going on right now? These people are in sync. And let's be honest, look, that shit, the trade that was offered to me, I felt disrespected. So I don't know if you want to bring your side of the story, or how that came about, or how that trade was offered. Or I don't know, maybe you weren't even the one that offered it. Maybe you were just the one that was supposed to relay the message or whatever. But talk to us about how that happened.
You're talking about, I don't think I ever actually offered you a trade
You
or told you who I wanted, this person. I was peeking. I was trying to see what was going on, and I was trying to maybe, move some pieces, whatever. I would have liked to have gotten Julio and then tried to get Ant with Eddie, and that's where
exactly.
kind of my head was at.
It was pretty much I was gonna give up Eddie, Julio, and Jose. Right. Obviously, this was never like, you know, Eddie, Julio, and Jose, and Peter, Bender, and Nico. So I'm assuming you would have gotten rid of Nico, gotten Julio. Eddie would have gone to the Titans with Ant, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm assuming I would have gotten Bender, Petey, and Nico. I mean, I don't know how that would have worked out.
I have no idea. I didn't know the specifics. I just knew like I was trying to get this person. That was also at the time, the week after Nico had missed, so I was already kind of annoyed with him because he told me after I drafted him that he was missing week 1. So at that point, I was kind of desperate. I was like, man, fuck this guy. But everything's good now. Everybody's happy. We went 3-1 without him.
3-1. You know, yes,
Yeah.
lost to a good team. But yeah, I mean, is there any other trades this season that you maybe wanted to make or thought about making, and anything that you've been hearing or nothing like that? Because trade deadline's about to be over.
Nah, I haven't been involved in any trades. I listened to them all if they're presented to me, but I haven't been interested in any. Earlier on, like I said, before week 1 and after week 1, I wanted to move Nico for somebody like Willie or Julio or somebody like that. But no matter, I don't care if you say it's a tier 3 for a tier 2, unrealistic, whatever. You might as well talk about it and see what happens.
At the end of the day, yeah, if it gets approved, it gets approved.
Exactly.
It's fantasy football. At the end of the day, that's how I think about it. At the end of the day, you're always gonna try to make your team better, and I get that. So then this brings me on to this. I just gave you a good compliment. You drafted well. So let's talk about that second tournament, right? We're gonna talk about that the 5-on-5 tournament. You more or less drafted kind of a similar team.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I wasn't impressed by the Titans in that tournament. So talk to us about what happened to you guys in that tournament, and then pretty much having a similar team, and then now in done deal, you're one of the better teams. So talk to us about that.
The tournament was definitely underwhelming, but I'm big on chemistry and stuff. So I drafted Forrest, obviously my brother, and who else? Those are the 2 I had in the tournament that I have on my team now. Well, if you think about it, I had 2 tier 5s or tier 6s because Angel, who's a tier 5 now, was like I don't know how you would. He was a tier. He wasn't the last tier as like he is now. So in a way, I kind of had 2 tier 5s or 2 tier 6s, however you want to put it. That doesn't help either.
Right.
So
I mean, it definitely showed.
That's where it was a little rough. But I mean, we lost to the only teams we lost to was the Cardinals, who they ended up winning. So no shame in that.
Facts on facts. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, now you're here today, so brings me on to this question. In Done Deal, is there something that you would change in Done Deal? Anything that if you had a chance to change and it's something that might be important to you, would you change it?
Rule wise, in gameplay or the ways.
Or whatever you want, bro.
I mean, I like the motions, pre-snap motions. I like those. I think they're a huge benefit to any offense. Um, Other than that, I really like the way it's maybe the they like if you trade for somebody, they have to play for you a week because a lot of times trades are done to like with a bigger picture in mind to continue moving pieces.
So like you get this one guy because
Yeah,
if you get this one guy, you could get the guy that you really want.
exactly.
But I mean, don't you think the captains have too much power?
I mean, not really because a captain could be traded.
Yeah, but trading a captain isn't as simple as people think. Unless you're trading your whole team. Let's say me, hypothetically. If I wanted to trade my captain, I would need to get approval from the people that are still on my team that are not being traded, unless I trade every single player on my team.
Okay, but if you want to trade your captain and not everyone else approves, it's in a way it's kind of clear like you're being selfish or something like that. Like if one person wants to trade the captain, like is maybe that one person has to look in the mirror instead of saying the captain has too much power. At the
Because
end of the day, the captain wants to make the team better, and I'm sure that one person wants to too. But if not everyone else on the team agrees, then somebody's wrong.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's an opinion. Because let's say hypothetically, I might not think my captain is as good as this other captain, even though he's ranked higher or lower, whatever it is. So maybe that's a good thing about Done Deal that anybody could have the power to do it. But it's definitely way you could agree it's definitely way easier for a captain just to trade anybody.
100%.
A
Yeah,
hundred
yeah.
percent.
A captain
Because
can, yeah.
a great example because Timmy got fucked, right? He's the one that got traded to the Bucks, or who am
Yeah,
I?
he got traded to the Bucks for Dax.
Like he's done. Like I mean, I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that, but the Bucks are done. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. Um, he was in he was in a team that was gonna make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure with the Vikings, even though they had a slow week last week, but his team pretty much just shipped him off, didn't care, and now he's in a shitty situation. But Dax wanted that trade. Dax wanted to leave the Bucks. He's been wanting to get out of there, wanted to get out of there for a while. So how do you feel about that whole situation? Because now Timmy's like, bro, like I'm fucked. Like it sucks. And now let's say hypothetically speaking, the Vikings win the star, might not feel the same.
I mean, yeah, like I feel bad for Timmy. It's kind of like what I did to Ham in a way last season. He was on my team. We were in the playoffs, and then I traded him to the Chiefs, who were like, I don't know, I think they had like 2 wins. It sucks, but each team has to look out for themselves. But it also goes back to what I was saying about. So Timmy got traded the week before the trade deadline, or the week of. Now he can't be moved again. Whereas if that rule wasn't in place, maybe there's a bigger plan and he could be moved somewhere else. Mo can make his team better in a different way and still make a playoff push. The beauty about Done Deal is where everyone's still can make the playoffs. One of these top teams can, I don't know exactly the math, but maybe drop out of the playoffs. Like anything can happen.
Right. I mean,
There's
obviously,
injuries.
as you see injuries, we lost our
Exactly.
number one player. Then our number two player got hurt too. He couldn't finish the last game. So I mean, yeah, for sure, anything can happen because now it's interesting because now that what was that trade? That Steelers trade was super interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because
Dolphins Steelers. No,
uh
Dolphins Seahawks. Dolphins
Seahawks, yeah,
Seahawks.
yeah, Seahawks Steelers.
Yeah,
Seahawks
that
Steelers.
saved the Steelers
That
season.
that just saved the Steelers season. It was a genius
Hmm.
trade by them. If you were Peaky, would you have made that trade?
I think his team, yeah. I mean, he has essentially just a bunch of tier threes, which, in my opinion, like the tier threes are just as good as the tier twos. I don't really see like huge drop offs aside from a couple players. So yeah, I mean, I think he kind of had two tier fives before with Yandri and Manny. So now he gets one tier five, Because if you have 2 tier 5s, you're screwed. You're fucked. You can't win with 2 tier 5s.
So all these
It's
teams
hard.
that have a tier 5. So we're talking about the 49ers and we're talking about the Bills. And is there another team that has a tier 5? No, just them. So pretty much you're saying those teams have no chance of winning the deal this season.
I mean, you can make the playoffs. You're gonna win games, but you're not
You're not gonna win the chip.
You're in a tough spot having 2 tier 5s.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm on the same page. I don't think those teams are winning. It's just I'm trying to
It's
understand
tough.
logic here, and these guys are smart, but maybe I'm a little more disappointed with Jordan because Baca's a rookie, so I expect him to make a mistake like that. And I get it. Yeah, they might win, they might do this and that, but like you gotta be thinking about a team that's gonna put you at a position to win a start. So if I was Baca, I would have traded JR or Brett like after week 1. I would have made something happen or do anything because I just don't think that roster how it's built can beat healthy teams like the Dolphins, Rams, Ravens, teams like that because those 2 tier 5s on the field, I mean,
It's tough. It's rough. The only time it works to your advantage is if the other team has forward and you don't have to rotate, or I mean, like one of your tier 5s catches a little cold and can't show up that day. I don't want to put nothing negative on anybody.
I feel you. I feel you. Let's switch a little bit into the flag football world. I'm not too educated in this, so maybe you could correct me on some things. Have you ever played for grown-ups, like in a tournament or anything like that?
Yeah.
So I mean, I might as well ask you. In grown-ups, who would you cut? Who do you think doesn't deserve to be in grown-ups?
I played with grown-ups when there was like 9 people, so I couldn't even tell you everybody on grown-ups right now.
Out of the done dealers that are in grown-ups, who would you cut?
Jesus Christ. Who's on grown-ups?
All right, we got Dusty, we got Paulie, we got Perra, we got I think Julian. I think is gonna play for grown-ups. We got Patino. Doesn't he play for grown-ups?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. We got Ernie. We got Pepito. We're gonna count him because he was still part of the season. I already said Perra. We have Andy. You can cut him too. I mean, and yeah, we got all those. Who would you cut?
I'd say Pepito, just because I mean you gotta be healthy to play. If you can't, if now you're in a way just taking up a spot.
That's a cop-out question answer. All right, yes, Pepito. I guess your ass is getting cut. So let's talk about being cut. So your brother got cut from Mojo, right?
I guess so. That's the word.
And I heard that Eddie doesn't want to pick him up. Or what are you gonna do? Are you gonna leave Mojo now? Because apparently nobody wants your brother, from what I'm hearing here.
As soon as somebody wants him, I'll play with that team.
So, but how does that make you feel that Mojo doesn't want to play with him?
Annoyed. They know that. I told them that.
Are you still stick with them?
I mean, just for now, yeah.
For now, yeah.
Unless my brother gets picked up by somebody, and then that team also wants me, yeah, I'm gonna stay with him. But if he doesn't find a team, then I mean, we have our own team, but like at a higher level, if he doesn't get picked up by another team, then I'll stay with him. But if another team picks him up, it's from the beginning that I started playing. I love it. I want to play at a high level, but like some of these other guys, I just want I don't care. I just want to play with my brother and whatever. So Mojo was the first one. I was like, oh yeah. So you want they wanted me to play, and they said your brother could play too. So I played with Mojo. Then now that he's not playing, it's really just whoever picks him up and is willing to pick me up.
What was the reason for your brother being cut?
Really, just I mean, for what he can do. He's not a defensive player, so and he was forced to play defense because we really didn't have anybody on Mojo. So then they picked up some people that could actually play defense, which is 100% fine. But in my opinion, he's better than this other dude, but that dude is this guy's boy. So I mean, I understand it. It's the same thing I would do if Daniel, like, if someone's a little bit better than Daniel, I'm picking Daniel anyways. So I understand it.
So I mean, yeah, but you wouldn't say kind of puts you in a spot because obviously you say you want to play with your brother, but let's say hypothetically speaking, he doesn't get an opportunity, right? Doesn't get this
Okay.
opportunity to play. Now, what do? You just gonna continue to be playing with Mojo, or you gonna just leave, or what? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure does he bumped out a little bit, or what?
Yeah, I mean, he's upset. He's bummed out about it. But like I said, like, we have our own team. That's just like we were playing Top Gun, whatever we play. Well, we have our own team. Like, we still play.
So
So it's
then,
not that deep.
so then it brings me up to this question too. Now, you just said you love playing flag. This is you do this for fun or whatever. What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy more playing quarterback or playing a different position?
I like playing quarterback. It's just a lot more fun. The game is more like in your hands. You're able to dictate more. It's I would say quarterback
So then, why haven't you tried to compete at a higher level at quarterback or at the highest level?
because I don't have people to play at the highest level. Like when
So
the people I have like the people I play with. So like Enzo's playing with us now. Enzo doesn't want to play Top Gun. Whether he can or can't, I mean, whatever. You have to play. Just you got to do it. But like I don't have people that are down or can play or take it serious enough to play.
So then you're saying that pretty much the people you're with do not want to play Top Gun, but you do.
Well, Daniel wants to, but we don't have a team to do that.
So
Which
if
is
you were
why I play with people in Top Gun.
put in the opportunity, 100 like if you get yourself a roster of certain players that are willing to play. Maybe I'm not saying that you have players that are capable of playing, but players that are willing to play, you would try to compete in Top Gun throwing.
Yeah, I know I have people that are capable. The thing is, they're not like as dedicated to it. So that's where it like it doesn't happen.
Well, that's interesting to hear because obviously, like I've seen you play. I've seen you play some, different positions and stuff like that too. But it's pretty confident to say that in done deal, you've established yourself as one of the better quarterbacks, if not a top quarterback. Which I obviously have you as a top quarterback. Health wise, I got you number three. Obviously we have Yon Eddie, and then I got you number three. Where would you put yourself in done deal as a quarterback? Where would you put yourself?
Number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
So give some details. Give some. I mean, don't just sound cocky about it. Tell them why you're number one.
I'm gonna quote the great movie. I believe it was Coach Carter. I'm the champ, so I ain't the champ no more. No, that's not. I don't know what movie that is, but that's the quote.
Oh, David, you're a special one. In done deal, aside from Mo, because you already said Mo, who is the most overrated captain and why?
Kareem.
Oh, and Kareem.
It's
You have Jordan, you have Chris, you have Anthony, you have Chris D, you have Peaky, you have Patterson, you have Baca, you have yourself, you have Eddie, you have Yon, you have Cece, you have Lewis, you have Drew.
as a captain,
Yeah.
CC,
Why?
because I think as a captain, not playing quarterback is a disadvantage, and like I don't think he or haven't seen like the how to word it the I guess like the to be a leader or whatever of aspect of a captain.
So you're pretty much saying he doesn't have the intangibles to be a leader, or you haven't seen it. Not that he doesn't have it, you haven't seen it.
The physical ability, yes. The intangibles, yeah, right. I haven't
Yeah,
seen.
because in my opinion, yeah, obviously physical ability, CC is probably one of the toughest people to cover in done deal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better route runners. But at the end of the day, the way football works is you need someone to throw you the ball. So
Hmm.
how do you feel about that Matt and CC combo? Do you think that's good enough to win you done deal?
Good enough to win games. It's not good enough. Like I said again, it's not good enough to put you over the top. I don't. I don't. I personally don't like the way Matt plays. I'm not a fan of his game. Like I wouldn't. I don't. I don't like it, and I don't think with him at quarterback, like a team would go very far.
Yeah, I mean, I've been vocal about this for many hot seats and stuff. If there's one quarterback I do not want to play with, it's Matt. I just I just don't think his style of play is gonna win you anything in this done deal. Yeah, you win a few games here and there, but the thing that I hate about I don't want to say hate, but whenever you get in a huddle and then your quarterback goes, "Yo, you guys got plays?
Yeah.
You want to run that? What do you guys want to do? Yeah, it's always good to like hear opinions and stuff, but like don't be like, yo, guys, what play do you guys want to run here? No, like it's be like, hey, I think I should run this and this with that, and then oh cool, then all right, I'll do like a route combo to help you do that. So I think yeah, 100% now Done Deal is becoming the type of league where the captain has to be a quarterback. Let's think about this. Let's go down the last few quarterback seasons that's been won in recent years. We have you, we have Yon, and we have Kevin. Right? Obviously, Kevin that season wasn't the captain as enlisted, but he was 100% the captain of that team. And he should have been a captain that season as well. So I agree with you in that. I think in this future, I'm really hoping that more quarterbacks join Dundee or more captains that are good enough to play quarterback join Dundee because I think Baca's a pretty good quarterback, but the team that he has around him, I just don't think it'll win him. So hopefully he learned this season. He comes back next season. He drafts better. So in done deal, no captains, and we're not talking about Matt either because you already went in on him. Kidding. Um, who is the most overrated player in done deal? Not captains and not Matt.
I would say I feel like everybody rags on him, but I would say JD. Like he gets this hype, but I don't. I mean, I don't see it.
You would consider him overrated?
I mean, from the hype he gets, people he keeps getting drafted high, and I don't see it. I'm trying to think who else.
I mean, he won the tournament, the last tournament.
Yeah, but
But what? Speak your mind.
no knock on him on about that. I'm trying to think of a better overrated. I'm trying to think. Go down the if you have the like the
I can
draft
go
board
down the
there.
list. All right, we
Go
got
down the list.
Dusty. We got Peter, we got Paulie, we got Marshall, we got Devin, we got Dash, we got Timmy, we got JR, we got Chris J. I mean Alfarito, we got Matt, we got Brett, we got Willie, we got Julio, we got Daniel, we got Julian, we got Anthony, we got James, we got Kevin, Enzo, Albert, Nicholas, JD, Ernie, Randolph, Swazo, Pepe. Pepito wasn't there, so Gerson, Forrest, Bender, Berra, Jeremy, Laz, Rob, Jose, Rafael, CP, Andy, Yandere.
Go down the say like the first seven.
The first 7 players: Dusty, Petey, Paulie, Marshall, Devin, Dax, Timmy, JR, Chris.
All right. Okay. I think. I mean, it has to be Marshall. Physically, he's like underrated maybe, but as a player, he's overrated because he doesn't put it together.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I just think Marshall needs a good captain because
Right.
hypothetically speaking, if you're playing with Marshall, what's gonna happen, David?
No, it'd be great, but I mean, I guess you're right. I don't know. I think he's overrated
I
in the
respect
sense
that. You
as a
gave me two
player,
names. I
as a
respect
whole
that.
player.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, he hasn't had success in the football side of Dundee at all. He's always been on whether he's a captain or not a captain. He's always on one of the worst teams. He's arguably drafted the worst team ever, but the Bucks are making a run for their money this season. So we got to see if what team's gonna be worse. So in Dundee, what player would you never draft? Now, don't tell me a quarterback Don't tell me a quarterback because obviously you're not going to draft a quarterback. In done deal, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what, you're like, yo, I am not playing with this guy. I am not drafting him in done deal. And we're just talking about football skills. I'm not talking about anything else. In done deal, who would you not draft?
Uh, I wouldn't draft. I feel like I wouldn't. I wouldn't draft Ray
Why?
just because I like the energy he brings, but it's too much. It's like I feel like he's sometimes not like he gets away from the game. It's like yo, just play. He'd rather be screaming and talking.
So that every single play, every single second, no matter what, if he pulls a flag, if they
Yeah,
gain
it's
a
like
yard or
it's
something.
over the top. It's not always necessary.
I like that. All right. So what team right now in done deal that's currently built gives you guys a problem? If you had to pick one team.
I mean, I can only. It's hard to say about like the teams we haven't played. From the team, I'll give you teams we have played, teams we haven't played. So two of them. From the teams we've played, the last week we played. I mean, you guys gave us trouble, but that was kind of
We had ball first, yeah.
that was you had ball first. We both had 4 players. First game of the season, whatever. Who else did we play last week? We played the Vikings. We played the Bills. We played the Vikings, the Bills.
I'll just name you teams: 49ers, Titans, Ravens, Falcons, Seahawks, Bucks, Vikings, Bills, Rams. I mean, Dolphins, Steelers, Cardinals, Raiders, Jets.
Okay, so I think the Seahawks are gonna give us like they match. I feel they match up well against us, and we play them this week.
And this is obviously after the trade that we're
Obviously,
talking about.
yeah. Teams constructed now, they match up. Like I feel like both teams match up well.
Give me a prediction for that game.
I think we win 4-3, 4-3, 4-2, 4-2.
4-2.
No.
So, aside from the Bucks, because they're dog water, what team this season will you never lose to? Like, doesn't fucking matter. Like, you ain't gonna give them a chance. You don't give a fuck. They both teams are gonna be healthy. No fucking excuses. What team are you not losing to this season if you had to play them 10 times in a row?
Anthony's team.
Anthony, see why?
Because he's got my tier 5 is a mismatch for his tier 5. And because it's a mismatch, me against Anthony.
Oh, that's crazy. Damn, a lot of people going on Anthony this season. Do you feel like Anthony should have been a captain this season?
Yes.
Yes. Was he ranked properly towards that bottom side? I believe he was like second to last or one of those.
I think he could have been ranked higher, but I mean, I think if anything, he's underrated. Like people, I don't know why, but he's like they seem to think less of him or whatever. I think he's great.
I mean, he's playing quarterback this season, so you think he's a great quarterback?
That kind of hurts him. No, I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I mean, if he had a quarterback, I think that team would be really nice.
So I mean, you should have said that maybe he should have drafted a quarterback. Do you think there could have been a quarterback that he could have drafted that could have maybe helped him out in his draft?
Not really. I mean, honestly, outside of the captain quarterbacks, better. It would have to be better. So I mean, yeah, I guess he could have drafted better. So yeah, if he would have drafted better, I think it would be a lot better.
So you're playing the Ravens this week?
Yeah, we play the Ravens.
So 1 and 2 playing against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are surprised that the Ravens are succeeding like that they are, right? And they've only lost one game, and they lost to a good team when they're healthy. But are you surprised by their success? Or are you kind of shocked because defensively they have the best defense, right? But on paper, they have 2 of the top 5 slowest guys in Done Deal, which is kind of crazy to think. You know what I'm saying? So, are you surprised about that?
I'm not surprised that they're 7-1. I'm surprised that like statistically, yeah, they have the best defense. That 100% is surprising because I don't know how they're doing it with those their tier 4 and tier 5 on defense.
So, do you feel like they give you guys like any matchup problems?
I think offensively it's interesting. I think on deep, like when we're on offense, they're on defense. I'm not like I don't lose sleep over it or anything like that.
You feel like you have the advantages on that side because they have the
Yeah.
number 1 defense, right? So technically, that you know what I'm saying, but you got your tier 5 versus their tier 5. I feel like obviously you have the advantage. Then it's your tier 4 versus their tier 4. I feel like you have the advantage because it's gonna be a very interesting dynamic because who are they gonna rush? You know what I'm saying? Who are they gonna put to rush? If they put Berra, the tier 5, to rush you, you're gonna have
They're not
the
gonna
whole
do it. They're
the
not
whole
going.
time the whole time that we're running the field. But are they gonna put Paulie or Swazo or Chris D, or what are they gonna do? Because Swazo's a good rusher, but that means that Berra or Lazo is gonna have to cover some. You know,
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not worried about it at all.
so you feel like that's gonna be an easy game for you.
Not easy. I just not worried about like the matchup on on our offense for us.
All right, so in done deal, would you say you're a guy, you're someone that likes to go out a lot?
Not really.
No,
No.
you don't like having a drink here too,
No. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah. So in done deal, aside from Ray and aside from any captain and aside from anybody that you said anything negative about this hot seat, who will you never hang out with outside of done deal? If you had to pick one guy,
That's hard, bro. Honestly, that's hard. I don't really know.
you gotta pick one. That's how it works. It's not supposed to be easy. Just gotta pick one guy. There's 70 players. Gotta pick
I'm gonna
one guy.
say. I'm gonna say Brett.
All right, Brett. I guess
I'm,
David doesn't
I
want to
don't
hang
think
out with you outside of done deal, bro.
we've never had a conversation, so I don't.
All right, David. Is there anything you want to tell the people?
I want to tell the people that I'm the champ, so I'm not the champ anymore. I want to tell the people I don't know why Daniel gets so much slack or not enough love, but he's awesome. He's showing it this season. Um, Eddie's not as bad of a person as you guys are making him out to be. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to say that. Is there anybody that you would trade your brother away for?
No.
Not one player.
I mean, captains or just anybody.
Anybody. So you would trade your brother away. That's what I'm saying.
I'd trade him for Lewis.
Oh my god. All right, David. Now is this part of the hot seat where you get to ask me one question, and you can ask me, and I'll be truthful as possible. Go.
Who or who do you have the most beef with in Dundee?
Who do I have the most beef with in Done Deal? That's a good one, bro. Um, beef. So define beef. Define beef.
With someone you're always arguing with, someone you can't get you don't.
So for some reason, I always get extra motivated playing against Drew's team because he always out of left field says some comment about me throughout the years. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was, but out of left field always has something to say, and every single time I play his team, I fucking destroy his team because it's just a little bit more motivation. And I'll give you another name just because this is fun. Renee from previous season.
Yeah, he was there last season.
He thinks he's Jesus. He thinks he's incredible, and he talks like he's the best person in the world. So as soon as he opens his mouth, I open my mouth, and then I just shit on him. So players like that, I always like hearing shit from that. But yeah, I'll give you Drew because for some reason there's always something he has to say about me. And maybe one of these times I put him here on the hot seat and we get to talk it out. Maybe we get to see what it is. But I don't know. If you have a problem with me, then I think that you have a problem because I feel like I'm super easy to get along with, and it is what it is. So David, now we come back to this part of the hot seat where we call it rapid fire questions. So I'm pretty much gonna ask you a question. You give me a simple answer, no details, no nothing. Okay? Here we go. Favorite porn star? Let's say it louder.
Bella Danger.
Bella Danger. Favorite artist? J. Cole. Favorite athlete? Wait, say it louder. I think you're
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Favorite food?
Cool.
Fat ass churrasco. Favorite route to throw to?
Anything to the corner of the end zone.
And into the corner. Okay. JD or Perra?
Better.
Dax or Ant Hernandez?
And
All right, because I heard Dax thinks that he's better than some captains. I might have to put him on this hot seat too. Well, David, I appreciate your honesty. I guarantee you a lot of people would not be expecting this. I feel like we got to see somewhat of a different side of you. And I appreciate you being honest and not being as dry as I thought you would have been. To be completely honest with you, you're definitely not the worst hot seat guest I've had, but you're definitely not the best either. Okay? So I don't know how that makes you feel, but I appreciate you.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment because some of
Listen,
these passes.
I've had bad ones that I'm here and I'm on my phone and I'm like texting. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on right now? Well, I appreciate you and your honesty, and I want to say thank you and shout out to all my done dealers. You know, we do this for you guys, and a lot of hard work gets put into this, and all these other segments that people are putting up, and I'm seeing that a lot of people are not looking at them. Go show them some love. Go show some love to Mendoza and Chris Marin. Go show love to Kevin's and his pick'ems that he did. You know, it takes a lot of time and effort for people to do that, and I don't see half of you guys doing this shit. But yeah, it is what it is. Any last word, David?
Go Rams.
All right, fuck the Rams. GG's. We're out.